All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick!
That's right, folks. It's Boomstick Radio. And you know, every week on the Firing Line Radio Show, our conversation is going to revolve around firearms, hunting, gun rights, every good thing afforded to all Americans under the Second Amendment of the Constitution. Now, our faithful companion in the battle to uphold these rights has been Firing Line Radio Show's longtime sponsor, Vincenzo Torellini from Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo in Riverside. He's right here on camera, folks. Wave to everybody. If you're not armed for protection or recreation, then Bullseye Sport is where you need to go. And for small arms, rifles, shotguns, ammos, accessories, and much more. Now, after you purchase that firearm, get this. Vince and Philip, that's me, highly recommend you attend a certified firearm safety and training course. That's Mike Foley. Now, one that's going to teach you the basic knowledge, skills, and attitudes essential to the safe and efficient use of your firearm. So for more information, listen to the rest of this show. About the certified firearm courses, call Bullseye Sport in Riverside, 951-823-0211. Visit the website, bullseyesport.com, for a schedule of classes, because at Bullseye Sports Guns and Ammo, they believe in safety first. 951-823-0211. Also on the AM 590 app. Vince, yes, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me again.
Glad to have you. You know, we're going to get, maybe the last section here, we'll talk about what California's trying to do, but I want to bring some, it gets depressing sometimes.
It is.
But I want to bring some good ideas, safety, training, the need for it, and practical things. Equipment selection can be so important.
It is.
Tell me a little bit about why you're involved with the firearm safety training.
Well, we've always offered at the store the training. Now we're pushing it more. We got more and more, mainly females, that come to the store and they bought a gun, 6 months ago, a year ago, and
we're still actually allowed to use specific pronouns on my show. They've not been outlawed.
Yeah, and because female. They understand it. They understand that this is not something that they do every day, and some of them do. And so they want to get trained by a professional. They don't want their husband or their son or anybody because
they have a correct respect.
They do
for this.
Yeah,
they understand it. Yeah, I agree.
A lot of men just buy a gun and go, "I'm a man. I know how to shoot the gun." Well, maybe you do. It's that hard to pull a trigger. It's just there's other things that you have to also learn, and that's why we offer the training by. I like to use the word certified because it's not certifiable, but by a well-trained individual. And Mike Foley here, it's one of the best you can get in getting basic firearm training.
Yeah, that's so nice of you to say that.
Yeah, I think you have to pay him now. There's a little money going across the table here.
Yeah, free lunch.
And then we do the basic training. Mainly, that's our number one goal is for the first time owners that they want.
Let me back you up here a step. So I come in, I've never purchased a firearm before.
Right.
And I say, help me out. So you show me, I don't know, I pick a Glock 19. Right. So I pick this Glock 19 at the store. One of the regulations is that I have to be shown how to use it.
Yes.
Right? That is not training, folks.
No.
This is the, your booger picker goes here and hits the bang switch, and this button knocks out the bullets,
right.
And you push this button to put the bullets back in. So that is your basic. It's like when you buy a new car,
right.
And the guy's showing you how to work the radio.
Exactly.
You forget it. You're driving down the road, you can't figure out what the guy just did, right? So that is not training. That is an introduction to what your purchase is.
Right, pretty much. You got it right on the spot. That is an introduction of what you just bought. Where's the trigger? Which way the bullet comes out? That kind of stuff. Now you got to get it trained.
Yeah. This is the pointy end. Pointy end goes away from you. Right.
Yeah. Never stare at the barrel. And so then you get. And then I'm sorry. I know I mentioned women, but no, there's a lot of men also who also want to get trained. And some of them are smart enough to go, look, I've had a gun for 30 years. But that doesn't mean I've been doing everything correctly. So I want to get trained to make sure to.
Well, we're not in a gun culture here in Southern California. Okay, we're not. Most of the young men grew up on their gun culture was playing Call of Duty.
Right.
So as opposed to getting out and actually using firearms. So there's a lot of people out there who don't have a background in it. Maybe if you grew up in somewhere in the country and you got shot on the weekends, you had that in your heritage and your foundation. But most people who are purchasing their first firearm have no background in this. So it is only an intelligent move to seek out proper instruction so you don't hurt yourself.
And it's up to us in this industry to make certain that people are safe with their firearm. People can go online and read all they want. That's fine. But you have to go and be trained by a professional to understand the basic of the firearm and get trained correctly.
You have to do the motor skills.
Right. It only takes one day. It only takes one day to learn all the basic about the firearm, how to hold a gun, trigger, and everything else. Of course, after that, it just comes
Your
to you,
practice.
going. And again, just because you took that lesson on one day, that doesn't mean you can put the gun away and 6 months, 6 years later, you're a pro at it. You got to go back and continuous train. We all do. We continue to train, and you never get enough training.
So let me tell you about my first training. I went out with the guys from Falcon Ops, Anson Beck and Charles, and this was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago when I first met these guys. And I had, what gun was I using? I don't know. I had a Cordura holster. Okay. And I brought that out because I didn't want to have to get a holster for every single gun I own. So why not get a standard holster?
Right.
You could throw anything you want in there, right? And it had a Cordura thumb snap over the top. And Anson looked at me and he goes, what the H is that? I said, what's a holster? He goes, that's not a holster. That's a sock. And he pointed out to me, he says, this is going to get you in trouble. And on a Cordura holster, you have this loose thumb snap that goes over the top. He says, oftentimes when you're reholstering, this will get hit by the trigger guard, pushed down, and then it catches on the trigger as you're sliding it in. And as he was saying that, he grabbed his knife, pulled it up, and cut it off of my holster, and said, "Now you're fixed." Right. So, but again, having not shot combat before or defensive shooting, I had no background with that, and so equipment selection, something like that, can cause a major issue in a training scenario.
Definitely, and that's Foley always insists on.
We see a lot of mistakes made in the purchasing of either the firearm or the holster before they come out. But people are getting smarter now, I think. I do a lot of training where folks are trying to find out what they should buy. And so they're training before they buy, which is really the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Too many times I see them come out with a firearm that they want to learn how to use, and it's just
a 38 Smith.
Exactly, yeah. Right? 1.8 inch barrel, and not the right thing for them. So,
but it'll take plus P loads.
Yeah, which hurt even more. Thank you very much.
The only advantage that we have in California, or disadvantage, in this case, would be technically some kind of advantage. There's only so many guns you can buy in California.
New, yeah.
New, used you can, whatever. But new guns over the counter is very limited, which is unfortunate thing because there are guns out there.
And it's getting more limited every day.
And there are some people out there that cannot function none of them. So, pepper spray is the best it can do because they can't. We have a lot of people that have arthritis. So a lot of those guns cannot be used by any of those people. And you try to fix them, try this, try that, try racking it, and they can't. Pulling the trigger is not really that hard. But all the other stuff you need, opening the cylinder to put the bullets in there, racking the gun. Yep. So there are other guns out there that are friendly to those people, but we can't sell them in California.
Right.
So that exact situation, I do some teaching on the side for people, and typically, I'll donate a class to a charity, and the people who buy them are usually, they're older ladies, okay? And I've run into that where they have arthritis hands, or they can't lift a 4-inch revolver straight in front of them because their shoulder strength hurts. They have physical limitations. Now, state of California, we have the right to self-defense. So you tell me how these ladies can defend themselves if they can't use a firearm, right? So anyway, modifying things and even maybe having them step down to a smaller firearm. If they could shoot like a Walther P22, and if they can shoot 10 rounds in 2 seconds, you know what? That's going to do it.
That's what I do a lot of times. My husband said the bigger the bullet. No, you're right. The bigger the bullet's going to be better, of course. But it doesn't do you no good if you can't pull the trigger. So
you can't lift the gun,
right. And a 22, like you're saying, the faster you can pull that trigger, that's 10 little bullets going at you, and 22 sounds small, but in a hallway in your dark house at night,
And
that
10
sounds like a cannon.
And 10 shots in the groin always works. That's it. We're assuming they have plates on. We're just going to go for the groin shot. That's it.
Yes.
And they say, why did you shoot them 10 times in the groin? Because we have magazine capacity limits in California.
right.
That's why.
Ran out of
That's right.
ammo.
It would have been 15, but we couldn't do that.
And even a shotgun, it's a home defense. Well, a shotgun. Well, shotgun is a heavy gun. Not everybody can. Not everybody
You know what?
can.
You know what is something that they can operate? It's the AR-15. 5.5 pound gun, no recoil, light trigger pull, point it and go. Seriously, that is a great weapon for somebody.
Great
like
defense
that.
weapon.
Yeah, folks. Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Check us out at firinglineradio.com. Get the podcast. We'll be right back after this.